Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Max,
I'm Aaron.
and this is our talk show, Max and Aaron Sports Show. So, on here, we're going to talk about mostly football, maybe some college football, and some basketball as well.
So, for our first show today, we're going to do our 1 through 16 picks for our redraft of the 2014 NFL draft. So, the way that it worked was we drafted from the pool of rookies based on each team's needs at the end of the season. Yeah. All right, so Max, you
So,
have
I
the
had
first
odds,
pick.
and Aaron had evens. So, for Houston, I took Khalil Mack. So, I thought this was a good pick because they're struggling on defense throughout the year. So,
All right, for the Rams, I took Sammy Watkins. They could really use a good wide receiver.
all right, for number 3, for Jacksonville, I took Zach Martin. Their outline is really bad, and anyone to help them.
All right, for the fourth pick for the Bills, I took ODB. With Sammy Watkins off the board, the Bills need a playmaker to slide in that wide receiver.
All right, for Oakland, I picked C.J. Mosley. I think he had a really productive year for Baltimore this year, and he might win Rookie of the Year.
All right, for the Atlanta Falcons at 6, I took Anthony Barr. Their defense isn't very good on the edges, so they could really use a dynamic playmaker on D.
All right, with 7, I took Mike Evans again for Tampa. I think he was good for them this year. If it wasn't for ODB, he'd win Rookie of the Year.
All right, for 8, for the Browns, I took Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald, this was more of a talent pick. Aaron Donald is a pretty good defensive tackle.
All right, for 9, I had Minnesota, and I took Joel Benito. I think he's really good, and Cleveland had a good pick with him this year, second round.
All right, at 10 for the Lions, I took Kelvin Benjamin because Calvin Johnson and Kelvin Benjamin could be a really dynamic playmaking core at wide receiver.
That'd be crazy if that happened in real life. For 11, for Tennessee, I took Greg Robinson. Taylor Lewan hasn't played that well this year, and Greg Robinson has played much better than he has. So.
All right, at 12 for the Giants, I took Taylor Lewan because I think the Giants could really use a strong right tackle and run blocking to help push the pile.
All right, for 13, I had St. Louis, and I took Teddy Bridgewater. St. Louis had a lot of quarterback issues this year, and they could have been a good team if they had a solid quarterback play throughout the year.
All right, at 14 for the Bears, I took Justin Gilbert. Justin Gilbert hasn't really lived up to his potential yet, but I think he can really be a shutdown corner in the league.
All right, at 15, I had Pittsburgh taking Clowney, number 1 pick in the real draft. Clowney had injuries this year, but he has a lot of potential, and Pittsburgh D-line is not that good, so he would be a great addition for them.
All right, at 16 for the Dallas Cowboys,
Last pick.
I took Jake Matthews because with Zach Martin off the board, they could really use a tackle to slide in at guard.
Nice. So that was first half. We'll have a second half in another show coming up soon. So now we're going to transition, and we're going to talk about our top 10 quarterbacks currently in the NFL.
All right.
Based on this season's play, not career.
All right, I'll start us off.
So we don't know what we picked. We did this privately, so be surprised.
All right, I'll start us off at 10 with my 10 was Matt Ryan for the Falcons. I think he had an underrated season. Since they didn't have a great record, I don't think he's getting the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with you. I'm going to go with my number 10, which is Phillip Rivers. I think him and Keenan Allen and Antonio Gates, he looks awesome throwing to them. I mean, him and Gates are one of the best quarterback tight end combos in the NFL.
All right, at 9, I had Russell Wilson. He can use his legs and his arm. He's really underrated by, people say that Seattle has a great run game, but a lot of that is because of Russell Wilson.
I agree. So my number 9, I went with Matt Stafford. He played. I think he had an underrated year as well too. They made the playoffs. Him and Calvin and Golden Tate, a couple other guys. Good year.
All right, at 8, I had Drew Brees. I mean, I still think he's a very good quarterback, but he really had a down year, and I think he's on the decline.
Okay. For my number 8, as an Eagles fan, this one's hard. I had to go with Tony Romo. No one thought they were going to be this good this year, and he led them there. It was Tony.
All right, at 7, I had Phillip Rivers. You ranked him a little bit lower, but
Yeah.
I think Phillip Rivers really jumped out to a great start to the season and almost got them into the playoffs in the last week.
All right, at number 7, I had Big Ben. Big Ben, he looked like an MVP he ended the first half of the year. He had 2 6-touchdown games, right?
Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks, so he can play. He led Pittsburgh to the division title. So
All right.
number 6.
Yeah, at 6, I have Romo, actually. I think Romo, he led them all the way to the playoffs. I think he played very well this season.
All right, at my number 6, I'm gonna go with Drew Brees. I think, as Aaron said, I didn't think Brees played that well this year. He's a lot of targets and he just couldn't get done.
All right, at 5 this year, I had Brady, actually, because Brady, he's always going to have a great season throwing the ball, but he didn't throw for too many yards this season.
All right, my number 5 was Russell Wilson, who I had higher ranked than Aaron. I think Russell Wilson by far the best mobile quarterback in the NFL. Do it on his legs, do it with his arms. Great playmaker in Seattle.
All right, at 4, I have Peyton Manning. He really didn't look good the last couple weeks of the season, but he did have overall a pretty good season.
Okay. My number 4 is Andrew Luck. I'm a big Andrew Luck fan. I think in the next couple of years he'll be one of the stars in the NFL. He's a lot of potential. Him and T.Y. down in Indy.
All right, at 3, I put Ben Roethlisberger. You said he
He had Big Ben over Manning.
Yeah, I mean, Big Ben was, I think, tied for the league lead in passing yards. He had a lot of touchdowns, and as always, he's a playmaker.
All right, at number 3, I had Peyton Manning this year. He had an Odo off year since he was an off year, but it wasn't as good as last year. We won the MVP. But he's done a good job in Denver.
All right, at 2, I had Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck had a great season. He can get it done with his legs too, and he threw for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns.
All right, my number 2, Tom Brady. I think he's an MVP candidate this year. Patriots best record in the NFL. Tied.
I think so.
I think best record in the NFL. He's a winner. Him and Belichick, him and Gronk, great.
All right,
so we had the same number ones, right?
I think we both
Rodgers.
Rodgers,
Yep.
Rodgers is great.
Yeah, MVP. I think he's MVP or Watt, but different discussion later.
All right, so now let's move on to talking about some of the divisional games a little bit.
So on Saturday, first game is it Baltimore, New England, right? Let's start with Baltimore, New England. So,
all right,
who wins and why, Aaron?
I think the Patriots win by 7, and I think they win because, quite honestly, I don't think the Ravens' offense can't stay with the Patriots' offense.
Fair. This is going to be the game of the week, in my opinion. It's a really tough one, but I can't see New England losing this time in Foxborough, even though Baltimore's came there and beat them before. I'm going to go really close. I'm going to say 27-24 New England. I say this because I think Brady's going to show out.
All right, Panthers, Seahawks. Who wins and why?
I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they got their mojo back. I think it's all started with them coming into Philly and beating my Eagles. But I think Russell Wilson's going to play pretty well against this Carolina D. So I'm going to go 24-14 Seattle.
All right, I think Seattle just has too good of a run game, and I think their defense is just too good for Carolina's offense. I don't think Carolina's going to score very much. I think Carolina will score 10 points, and I think the Seahawks will have 28.
Yeah, this is big win. You think Seattle?
Yeah.
I think a major part in this game is that Star Lutuli, their defensive tackle's out, and he's got
for the Panthers.
Yeah, he's best run stopper for Carolina right now, so that's tough.
Right.
Stop Lynch.
All right, the first game on Sunday we have the Cowboys and the Packers at Lambeau.
You want me to talk about this one first?
Yeah.
I think Green Bay's gonna win this one. I can't see Dallas winning again. I mean, the only reason I see Dallas winning is the help of the refs. But I'm gonna go 31-21 Green Bay.
All right, I think it's gonna be closer than people think because Aaron Rodgers, I think he has
his leg is bothering him.
Calf is bothering him, so he's definitely gonna be at less than 100%, which doesn't mean he won't shred the Dallas D, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. I think it's gonna be 28-21 Packers.
Okay, next one.
We got the Colts and the Broncos at Mile High.
All right, I'm going Colts here. I think Andrew Luck's gonna beat his like mentor almost. His mentor in Indy. So I'm gonna go very close. I'm gonna go 34-31 Indy.
All right. Unlike Max, I like the Broncos here. I think the Broncos at home are just gonna be too good, and I think Peyton will get his, mojo back into the playoffs. I think they're gonna win 20. I'm gonna say 35-21. Broncos.
Okay. All right, that'll wrap it up this time, guys. See you next time.